Do a little review. 2024 WRX Premium. Got about 4,200 miles on the car. H&R lowering springs. I think they lowered it like an inch. AWE Touring exhaust. And some 245/45 tires, about an inch bigger diameter than stock, on 08 to 14 limited STI forged BBS wheels. Had a 2014 WRX in the past, a 2006 WRX limited, and a 19 STI. This car is probably the most comfortable of those four as far as normal usage. Transmission, seems okay, ratios are okay. The shifter is a little wobbly compared to the STI and compared to the linkage WRXs in the past, compared to this cable operated whatever. Not the fastest car, not the slowest car. Experimenting with some camera angles, seeing how the microphone picks up. Got some outside exhaust clips, flybys, that kind of stuff. Give people an idea of the AWE Touring. Road noise is average. I'd say it's a little quieter than the STI, a lot quieter than the previous generations of WRXs that I have owned. The General G-Max RS something or other tires, summer tire, so they're a little bit quieter, nicer than the Dunlops that came on it. Chip road. It's a little noisier than most surfaces, but not much choice around here. It's around a degree of negative camber in the front, and I think 1.5 in the rear. 1.4 maybe. Found a little bit of good road, take a little rip on. I know a lot of people complain about the rattles of these interiors, but also have a C6 Corvette. So this thing feels pretty nice on the inside compared to that, because that's your typical mid-2000 Chevy interior. So this seems leaps and bounds nicer than that. Nice road surface here, just redone. Even with the 1-inch over stock size tires, it handles pretty darn well. I would say nothing noticeably different than the 245 40s. This just has a little nicer ride whenever it comes to any bumps or railroad tracks, anything like that. I'm sure the speedometer's off a couple miles per hour, but it is very minimal because I have checked it with a GPS speedometer, and it was negligible. But it doesn't have a bunch of slop or play in anything. It handles pretty well, I think. When comparing it to the Corvette, it's obviously slower, and it's obviously a little bit more body roll and just not as sharp as something that's 2 inches off the ground. But as far as the Subaru goes, I think it handles pretty good. I believe getting rid of the stock wheels for these Forged BBSs are somewhere around 8 to 10 pounds lighter per corner. I believe, if I remember right, I think I was at 36 or 40 pounds overall lighter weight for the set of 4. I like this exhaust because you can hear it, but you can't really get annoyed by it. It's not loud enough for it to ever be making you wonder why you put an exhaust on your car. Even if you rev it out, there's 5,000 RPM. It's pretty much, you can hear it, but it's not loud. Springs, I don't really notice any difference, honestly. Only 1-inch drop. Stock struts have 4,200 miles on them, so I didn't think it was necessary to go putting something else on it. I don't need it to be the most adjustable thing, so I didn't need coilovers. I figured some lowering springs would be plenty decent, and I would bet between a little bit nicer ride from the tires and maybe a little crappier ride from the springs, it's probably very similar to whatever a stock riding vehicle would feel like. Smooth riding car. The H&R springs are definitely they help with the body roll, I'd say. Definitely feels a little more planted, a little lower, less top heavy, I guess. Again, it's not going to feel to me as good as like my Corvette that is 2 inches off the ground, but this, for what this is, I think it works pretty dang good. I wasn't willing to spend crazy money on coilovers, so this is what we get. Just figured I'd get out, try to put a couple miles on it, make a little video. very, very little lag. You don't have to wait for it to hit you at 3,500 like you did on the EJs. I'm sure it could be even better with the tune and all the other stuff, but I'm not really looking for that on this. It's brand new. It's got a 5-year warranty. So if I want something fast, I'll get on a motorcycle or drive the Corvette. This thing's going to be lacking compared to those, no matter what I do, without throwing a whole heck of a lot of money at it. So just needed something to grab groceries with, and I think this checks that box. So we'll see how this turns out. Maybe do a couple videos in the future. Maybe get some wintertime snowdrift videos or something, hopefully. See you guys. AWE Touring